So in this video, I'll go over step by step how you could be successful at Shopify Dropshipping in 2021. What is up, everybody? So it's finally a new year, 2021. Thank God we made it through 2020. 2020 was a crazy year. We collectively, pretty much together as a whole world, had to deal with a lot of stuff that was highly unexpected. And it took a toll on a lot of people financially, mentally, and emotionally. So be thankful, be grateful that you made it through 2020, and let's make 2021 our best year ever. So I haven't uploaded a video on YouTube in about a month, and I'll explain why. Although it feels a lot longer than a month, but I feel really good. I miss doing this. I love to spread value to each and every one of you. I love helping as many people as possible. So a quick update on my life and what I've been doing. So as you know, the pandemic really hit the US in March, and during that time, basically the whole world went into turmoil. And usually when that ever happens, it's always a good opportunity for you to make money in the stock market because you're buying when other people are fearful. So as you know, I'm sure all of you heard the Warren Buffett quote, be greedy when others are fearful and be fearful when others are greedy. So whenever, a bunch of people, in this case, the whole world turns fearful, then it's time to be greedy and take advantage of whatever's happening so that you could come out on top in the long term. I started investing in the stock market when I was 18 years old, but as I got into e-commerce, I felt like I could get a much better return on my money if I spent it more in my e-commerce businesses with advertising and of course influencer marketing. So during that time, I never really invested really heavily into the stock market because most of my money was spent in my e-commerce businesses because I felt like I could get a much better return that way. But when the pandemic hit in March and the whole world went into full panic mode, the stock market tanked really hard. So I knew that this was gonna be a huge opportunity to make a lot of money by investing in the stock market. So I started to pour in a lot of my money heavily into the stock market during that time. So as time progressed, I realized that the pandemic was actually gonna last a lot longer than expected. Therefore, making money in the stock market was gonna be a huge opportunity for the coming months or even the coming year. So during this time, I was investing and trading in the stock market, but I was also spending a lot of my time and energy handling everything that was going wrong in my e-commerce businesses, like the shipping, delivery, and fulfillment issues, and all the customer issues and everything. And I was also figuring out how to pretty much automate a lot of it so that I could focus on trading. And I didn't reach the point to where I reached pretty much 90% of automation until the last day of November. So pretty much the last day of November, I reached the point to where 90% of my e-commerce business was automated. So in the last month, trading and investing in the stock market from basically December to now in January, I made about $300,000 in profits. And to be completely transparent, I'm actually gonna show you guys. So I use two stock brokerages or stock investing trading apps, whatever you wanna call it. I mainly use Robinhood and TD Ameritrade. So I'm gonna first start out by showing you guys my Robinhood account. So the past month, I'm up a little over $171,000. And just a quick note, you're gonna see the numbers kind of update as I'm talking. That's because I have some of my money in crypto. Today's Saturday, and as you know, crypto is trading 24/7, as opposed to the stock market, which trades 5 days a week, limited hours each day. Crypto is always trading 24/7, so the money in my account is constantly updating. But I only have a little bit of my money in crypto. The rest of it is, of course, into the stock market. Although I'm kind of regretting that decision because crypto has been crazy right now, but I can't get too greedy. I'm happy with my returns. So I want to show you guys my year returns. So as I told you guys earlier, I put in a lot of money in the stock market during March and April and pretty much after that. So I started pouring money in the stock market a lot. So in this Robinhood account, because there was a lot of issues that people were having in Robinhood, I didn't put too much money in it. This whole account, I put a little over $99,000 in it. So I think the exact number, so a little under 100K. And as you can see, the past year, I'm up a little over $550,000. So looking at the percentage number, I'm up 550%. So I basically almost 6x my money. So just look at it that way. I put, a little over $99,000 of my own money, and I basically 6x that into $650,000. So now moving over, let me just show you guys so that this is my Robinhood account. And then if I switch over to my TD Ameritrade app right here, the number is pretty much almost the same. I think it's just $1,000 difference, but there is $650,000 in my TD Ameritrade account. And if we go over to the balance history within the past month, it's showing the graph. Although I don't know why, but TD Ameritrade doesn't really show you like the returns like Robinhood does. That's why I like Robinhood app a lot better than TD Ameritrade, because I feel like Robinhood has the best trading app, like the interface and how everything is simple and clean to look at and use. But everything else about Robinhood, their customer service and everything, is pretty much the worst. I basically put about $400K of my own money into this app. So I'm basically up $250,000 onto TD Ameritrade, which is still good, but obviously not as much as my Robinhood account. So going over the numbers, there's about $650K into my TD Ameritrade account, and there's about $651K into my Robinhood account. So all total is around $1.3 million. And as I said, I put about $500K in my own money into these accounts. So I basically turned $500,000 into $1.3 million in the past year. And I'm super excited and super thankful and blessed that I was able to make that happen. And I'm truly telling you guys this as humble as possible. I'm not showing you guys any of this to brag. I'm just showing you guys the power of taking advantage when pretty much the whole world is fearful. So pretty soon I'll be showing you guys exactly how I was able to do this, and I'll also be showing you guys my personal strategies for investing and trading in the stock market. So now that I pretty much went over an update of my life with you guys, let's go over how you guys can be successful in Shopify dropshipping in 2021. So dropshipping, just like with any business and pretty much anything in this world today, has changed a lot in the coming years. So stuff that was working last year or 2 or 3 years ago are probably not going to work today. And you guys got to realize that all businesses and pretty much everything in life is constantly changing. We live in an ever-changing world. Things are changing actually much faster than what they were changing at years ago, and it's only going to become more faster. So the only solution to this is to adapt. So another thing that I want to mention is that when you're dropshipping in 2021, you need to focus on more of a branded experience for your customers. And what I mean by that is that back in the old days, I'm talking about 2 to 3 years ago, you could have a general store with a bunch of random products and a bunch of random ads that you find on the internet for those products, then run Facebook ads on those random ads that you found on the internet, and then boom, you have a successful business. Now the game has changed. You need to focus on one product in one niche store, and then focus on more of a branded experience for your customers. And in particular, when you're doing Facebook ads, like I said, back in the old days, you could find some random ads that you found on the internet and then run Facebook ads on those. But nowadays, Facebook has gotten a lot more strict with detecting if ads aren't yours. And also for the owner of those ads that you found on the internet, they could put down a DMCA notice and then get your whole ad account banned and taken down. And even if Facebook detects if something is wrong with that ad or if it's not yours, they could disable your ad account as well. So what you need to do, you need to focus on creating your own custom content to where you own the ad, and I have the perfect solution for you guys. And that solution is viral Ecom ads. I talked about viral Ecom ads numerous times in my videos. I highly recommend them for video editing services for your dropshipping business. They're the #1 and most popular video editing service for sure for dropshipping business in the world. So what they did, they released something that's really, really dope that I want to talk about with you guys, and it's custom content services. So if you head over to viral-ecomads.com and you go to custom content ad services, then you go to custom content ad packages, this will take you to the custom content ads for you to choose from. So what they did is, I'm actually friends with the founder of this company, and very recently they invested a lot of money and got a studio in New York to film custom content. So you literally can send your product to their custom content studio in New York, and they'll film custom content ads for you. All of this for literally under $400, so $350 for all of this. And comparing to like other film studios, they charge like $4,000 for this. And then they also deliver all your custom content ads within 5 to 7 business days, which is absurd and unheard of. Usually if you try to get this done, you're gonna be paying way more money, and it's gonna take like 3 to 4 weeks for you to get your custom content. So like I said, very recently, they invested a lot of money and got an actual studio in New York with actual actors to film your custom content. So if you do this, if you select the package and you get your custom content, you'll own all of the custom content, so you don't have to deal with any issues like the DMCA or anything like Facebook, banning or disabling your account because you're stealing ads from the internet. You own 100% of this, and you also, if you find out that somebody has taken your ad or is using your ad, you basically could also file that DMCA and take their ad account down. So like I said, I highly recommend using this because it's more of a branded experience for your customers. And literally, like I said, you could do this all for under $400, and your custom ad would be delivered to you within 5 to 7 business days. So I want to go over all the official features for the custom ad video. So there's 4 different ad variations for one product. There's 30 to 45 seconds video duration for the ad video, and it's perfectly sized for Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Amazon. So when you're doing video ads for different social media platforms, it's sized differently proportionally between each social media platform. So there's different sizes for Facebook ads, Instagram ads, YouTube ads, and Amazon as well. So it's perfectly sized for that, so you don't have to worry about any of that. And there's one actor included. Like I said, they have actual human actors in their studio filming the content for you, and then they have in-studio filming, of course, in New York, and it includes 2 to 4 scenes and also $25 prop budget. So, you know, they take care of like the props and everything as well. And then it has unlimited editing revisions. So if you get your ad from them and you don't really like it, or you want something to be changed, it has unlimited amount of those changes for them to make for you. So now I want to show you guys some actual examples of the custom content ad videos. So if you head over to this and go to custom content ad examples, it's going to show you a bunch of different examples for you to look at so you can see exactly how these ads are. So if we scroll down, let's check out this waist trainer. They have actual real actors using your product with different ad variations and different video clips of using your product as well. And like I said, you'll own 100% of all this content. So I want to actually show you guys the whole process and everything from ordering from them and how to do it. So what you do is go to the custom content ad services, go back to the ad packages, and whatever ad package that you want. So for this one, it comes with also 2 free thumbnails. You just add this to your cart. Then you buy it, and then after you buy the product, what you're gonna do is go to the ad submission form, so the custom content ad submission form, and then you're just going to enter the information as it tells you. So put your first and last name, your email address. I'm just gonna put some random email address, the package that you bought. So if you bought one custom ad package, I'm gonna do that right here. And then for your product link, so this is gonna be the link to your product. And I would recommend that you use your Shopify store link for your product, but if not, you could, if your product is on AliExpress, you could just copy and paste that product like this. And then your product name. So whatever you wanna name your product. Like I said, I recommend having your Shopify store already, so you have your official product name and also the product link. So let's just say cashmere leggings, then hit next. And then right here it's gonna ask you your preferred marketing angle. So what this is like, let's say you have a product like cashmere leggings and you want your marketing angle to be like, okay, I want you to advertise that it keeps your legs really, really warm. So that's what I want to focus on for this product. So basically whatever your marketing angle is, that's what you wanna focus on to show buyers, potential buyers, to sell them on your product. So whatever angle that you want to choose from, you put that right here, and then you also could choose the actor gender. So this is really cool because like I was saying earlier, if you have a product that is mainly female, you want to advertise to females and as well as males. So if your product is feminine, you want to click a female, and then obviously if it's a male, you want to click the male. So for preferred marketing angle for this example, I'm just gonna put like the warm of the leggings, since we're in winter time right now. So like I said, preferred marketing angle, whatever you want to focus on in the ad video to sell your potential customers. And then you can also choose the age range. So obviously if you have a product that is more directed at a younger audience, you're gonna choose that age range. And then for product benefits and features, so like I said, if you have your Shopify store already, you're probably gonna have this in your description, so you could just copy and paste that. But if you wanna list all the benefits and features of your product, so for example, like this, it keeps your legs really, really warm, it's really comfortable, it lasts a long time, it's durable, it's soft, and all that stuff, you could put that for the benefits. So for example, and also you could put any specific notes that you want them to include, like, if you want a special font color or a special font, any preferences that you want them to put, like, oh, like, make sure you put like it's on sale, or buy before this day, anything like that. You could put that on the notes as well right here. And then lastly, you'll upload your store logo, and then you just submit, and then your ad will be sent and en route. And then for sure you figure out if you want to send your product to them. And if you're getting your product from AliExpress, for example, to speed things up, if you could find like a supplier that is shipping like in a shorter time, or it probably makes more sense to pay for the highest shipping options so that you get your product delivered in time for them to create your ad. But in most cases, if it's taking 1 month, then it'll take 1 month for them to get your product. So, but once they receive your product, like I said, it's only gonna take 5 to 7 business days for them to complete your ad. So once you do all this, hit submit, you send your product to them, then they'll do your ad in 5 to 7 business days, and now you have your custom content ad that you 100% own. And lastly, the custom content ad is really, really cheap for $350. Like I said, for that, usually you're gonna be paying like $4,000 or $1,000 to $4,000 for sure. $350 is a really, really good price. But if you can afford that, I recommend to use their 2D animation ad packages. So if you go to 2D animation ad packages, it's going to show you all this, and what this is basically all animation ads. And the cool thing about this is that you also own 100% of this content, so you don't have to worry about Facebook taking your ads down or anything like that. And it's a cheaper entry to owning 100% of your content for your ads. But there's no humans or any actors using the product. It's more on the cheaper end, but you do own 100% of that content. Like I said, it's right here. It's a cheaper option, $60, and then I'll also put a discount in the description below for that to be, you could probably get this for under $50 with my official discount. So that is pretty much it. I definitely recommend Value Ecom ads. Like I said, I mentioned in my previous videos, they had the ad packages as well for, $40 to $50 for you to get your video ads, but you will not own 100% on this content. Just a quick disclaimer. So if you want to go the route of a branding experience for your customers and owning 100% of your content, then either use the custom content ad or the 2D animation ad package. So I definitely recommend ViralEcomAds.com. You can use my discount code JRich20 for 20% off. I also put a link in the description below, and I can't wait to see what kind of ads that you guys get from using them. So now let's get into step-by-step how you guys can adapt and succeed at dropshipping in 2021 from starting from scratch. So the first important step in dropshipping has always been and will always be to find your product. And obviously your product is one of the most important aspects of dropshipping. This is what you're gonna sell, this is what you're gonna advertise to customers, and you definitely wanna make sure that your product has demand and that it's trending so that you can potentially make money with it. So I'm gonna show you guys how you guys can find really, really good trending and products that are in demand for dropshipping. So I'm gonna show you guys a 100% free method, and I'm gonna also show you guys one of the best methods that I've found recently that I currently use to find dropshipping products. So let's get into it. All right, so first off, let's go over the free method on how to find dropshipping products, and surprisingly, it's gonna be on AliExpress.com, which is where you will get your dropshipping products to dropship. So if you haven't already, go ahead and go to AliExpress.com. And if you don't have an account, just go ahead and create one, then sign in. And of course, if you're registering, as soon as you register an account, you'll be signed in. So after you're signed in, just go ahead and go to another tab and then type up AliExpress Dropshipping Center. Go ahead and click that first link, and it's gonna take you to this page. So what you're gonna do is go to the next step and then agree to that. And then you could put your first and last name, it doesn't really matter. Then just go ahead and submit, and then it's going to take you to this page, and then just click this link, go to the Dropshipper Center, and then boom, it's going to take you to this page right here. So right here, this is the dashboard of how it looks. So you have to find products to sell, product analysis. So you want to hit find products. And then it's going to take you to this page, and this is what I really, really love about this. And remember, this is 100% free, so all you guys could do this, and it's going to show you a ton of products. So if you scroll down, it has a bunch of different pages of different products, different dropshipping products, and then it also has a bunch of metrics and analytics for you to look at. So for example, right here it has their order numbers, so you could kind of look at different products and see how many orders that they're getting, and you could choose to only focus on the ones that have high orders, or you could choose to focus on some that are not, because potentially if something has a bunch of orders, it might be a little saturated, so you could choose to only focus on, for example, like products with orders under like 10,000. So that's one metric of looking at it. Then it has dropshipping orders, and I'm not really sure how accurate that is because I can't really imagine how they would know the order is a dropshipping order. but just take that with a grain of salt looking at the dropshipping orders. And it also has the rating. So 4.7, like these are the reviews from customers that bought this product. So obviously that is a huge thing, because you don't want to get a product that has a ton of bad reviews, because that's going to be a hassle for your customers. And then it has their sales performance right here, and then actions. One thing that I really love about this is that, especially, and you're going to hear me talk about this a lot, because this is one of the most important aspects of why dropshipping has changed and why it's continuing to change and why it's a lot different, and stuff that was working last year is probably not going to work this year. And that is because of the shipping times. The shipping times, the delivery times, and the processing times, because of the pandemic. So when the pandemic hit, everything was, in shambles, and a lot of stuff was taking really, really long, to where even now it really hasn't really recovered, and stuff is taking 1 month or over a month to get delivered to your customers. So obviously that is going to be a huge issue, and you're going to get a lot of customers that have a lot of complaints about that. So what I recommend, and you're going to hear me talk about this a lot in this video and always, is that you focus on suppliers that have quick shipping times, and those suppliers on AliExpress are usually the ones that are shipping from United States. So these are technically US suppliers, because the product is already in the US and it's being shipped out to you in the US, or your customers in the US. So traditionally, pretty much all the other products that you would traditionally drop ship from AliExpress are usually shipped from China. And as I said, especially during the pandemic, when the pandemic hit, the shipping and delivery times was extremely delayed, to where even now it's not really recovered, and it's taken over a month to get delivered to your customers. So focus on the ship from United States suppliers on AliExpress. So what I really like about this platform, the Dropshipper Center, and how you could find products, is that you could filter out suppliers by hitting this delivery time. So if you go to basically the least amount of delivery days, so 10 days, it'll show you a bunch of suppliers that have delivery times within 10 days or less. So as you can see, all these different suppliers that you could choose from, and then it still has those metrics right here for the orders, 6,000 orders, 9,000 orders for this. And like I said, you guys could go through tons of different pages looking for products, since there's a ton of products. And it's really, really cool, because these are the suppliers that have delivery times within 10 days or less. So as you can see right here, this is a VIP link, these two, and this one right here actually. So what this is that so when you drop ship, and let's say, for example, you drop ship this product from a supplier on AliExpress, and that your business is going really, really well, what you could do is contact that supplier and let them know, I'm giving you a bunch of orders. Can you give me a good discount? Or potentially, since I'm giving you a lot of orders, can you give me a good discount? And can you ship out faster, with faster delivery times, since I'm giving you guys a ton of orders? So usually the supplier, they want to make money, and of course they want you to be happy, because you're probably the biggest customer. They're willing to create a VIP link for you that usually you pretty much the only one that could order from them. Because obviously, as you can see, the VIP link is right here. Only one person can order from this, because only one person knows exactly what this product is. So if you go to this product, you don't know what this product is, because it's just a VIP link. But just keep that in mind whenever you see this and you're on this platform and you see these VIP links. That's what it is, and you guys could, potentially, as you succeed with your dropshipping business, you guys could do the same thing. So anyways, these are a bunch of suppliers that have delivery times within 10 days or less, as you can see right here. So if we go, for example, if I go to this one, so this is a butt lifter for like leggings. So a really popular product, as you can see. And as you can see right here, they have the ship from United States option. So if you hit right here, and then you go right here, it's showing you the shipping time, and the estimated delivery is between 4 to 13 days, which is really, really good. That's like average, here in the US. So that is what I recommend on you guys to focus on when drop shipping from AliExpress, is that you focus on the suppliers that have the quickest delivery times, because that is the biggest issue right now with AliExpress and pretty much all drop shipping from China in general. So a quick note on what we did: you just go to the Dropshipper Center, then go to delivery time, and then click the shortest amount of delivery time, which is 10 days, and then it will show you the suppliers that have delivery times within 10 days or less, so that you can filter out all the other suppliers that are offering, you know, products but super slow delivery times. So that is what I recommend. And like I said, this is a 100% free method to do. And I'll also show you guys, you know, how you could find, you know, let's say for example, you find a product, or you want to just go on AliExpress to find some products randomly and you don't want to use this platform. What you could do, let's say for example, you found like, you want to sell like wireless earbuds, which is a really good product. It's been a really good product for years now. You know, it's a really trending product, and you know, a lot of people, you know, want this. This is always one of the top selling products on AliExpress. So if you sort by orders, and this is another thing that you could do that I didn't go over. If you ever search a product on AliExpress, you could sort by the best match, which is going to be default, or you could search by orders. And then when you click this is going to show you the most amount of orders with those products, for example. So as you can see, there's tons of, like, this one has 30,000 orders, and then this one has 10,000, and it's consistent. There's tons of suppliers and sellers that have a bunch of orders on this product. So I'm just saying, for example, let's say you wanted to sell this product, and you, like I said, you want to focus on suppliers that are shipping from the United States for fastest delivery times. You're just going to hit the ship from, and then you're going to hit United States. And this is going to show you a bunch of suppliers that are shipping from the United States. So if you go to any of the suppliers right here, this is about $1 to $2. So this is another thing that I want you guys to keep in mind. This supplier is kind of tricking their customers because they're saying that they ship from the United States, but in reality, as you can see right here, it's shipped. It's not shipped with USPS or anything like that. It's shipped via seller shipping method, which is about a month delivery time. So obviously, if this was shipped from the United States, then it wouldn't take a month to get delivered. So just keep that in mind. If you ever see this, that you definitely want to look at the estimated delivery time before you find a supplier, because some of these sellers on AliExpress, they put this ship from the United States, but in reality, they're really not. So that's something you definitely want to check. And then you can also, you know, message the supplier and verify as well. As you can see, this is a seller that's shipping from the United States. As you can see, is using USPS, which is the postal service, and the estimated delivery time is within 4 to 13 days. So this one is probably legit shipping from the United States, as you can see, because the delivery time is quicker, and he's using United States Postal Service. So really, really simple methods on how you guys could find suppliers that are shipping the fastest, and potentially US suppliers that, you know, have the product already in the US, so that you do not have to deal with the huge problem in dropshipping right now with China dropshipping products that is taking super long for delivery. So that is probably the most important change that has happened within the last couple of years, is that you have to find suppliers that have quicker shipping times, because 1 month is not going to do it. So it used to be 2 weeks was a standard for like ePacket, which was still kind of on the end of like, okay, that's a long time, but it was manageable, but still, you know, not like sustainable long term if you want to continue to do that and make a lot of money. But now it's like a month. So a month or longer is for sure not acceptable. So definitely focus on finding suppliers on AliExpress that are shipping from the United States, which have much faster delivery times. So now that I went over the free method on how to find dropshipping products on AliExpress, I want to actually show you guys a method that's really good that I found out recently that I currently use, and it's called thieve.co. So this is the website if you go to thieve.co, as you can see. And I love thieve.co, especially, you know, for finding dropshipping products. And I'm gonna show you guys exactly what I'm talking about, because they have a bunch of different metrics and different stuff that a lot of different platforms don't have. And by the way, this is not an ad or anything. I'm just literally impressed, and I really love, you know, using Thieve as opposed to any other ways on how to find dropshipping products. So this right here is thieve.co. So if you go to the website, you'll see like a list of products. So as you can see right here, These are trending products. Scroll down right here. Keep in mind though, this is not a free method. So this is free what you're seeing. So you'll see like a limited, amount of products, and then you could see like different categories, so homeware, electronics, and different products like that. But keep in mind, it is going to be limited because they have a upgraded plan. The real features that are really a game changer in finding dropshipping products are only available on their paid plans. So if you go to upgrade now, you'll see all this different stuff, and they have a bunch of different features and different things that they do, which is really, really cool. But if you scroll down to their plans, you'll see that the lowest price plan is $15 a month, and they have the $49 a month plan for like different features, which is mainly like the premium product content and the pre-release product access. Now I just have this plan. This is suffice enough for me, and this is pretty much more than enough, and I'm going to show you guys the killer features that are game changer in dropshipping. So I'm about to log into my account right now and then show you guys how it is. So once you're logged in, I'll probably show you guys this main screen, which is their main homepage. What you're gonna do is go to supply. So if you hit open supply right here, or you could just go to right here, Thief Supply, doesn't really matter. But once you go to the supply, this shows you a bunch of products and a bunch of different metrics as well for those products. And these are pretty much all the products in total. And just keep in mind that this is not only a drop shipping tool. People use this to just find cool products on AliExpress, because a lot of people shop on AliExpress. So when you use this, for example, we're at all the products, and this is pretty much for everybody that drop shipping, or even if they're not drop shipping and you just want to find products on AliExpress. But if you hit this drop ship tab, this is going to show you a bunch of potential drop shipping products. As you can see, it has this drop ship tag on it. And then the cool thing about this platform, Thief, is that I love their metrics. So right here, if you go to popularity, it's gonna show you like the overall popularity on the black, which is what you see in black. And then what you're gonna see too is the male popularity, which is blue, and then the female popularity, which is pink. And then as you can see, for each product, it has that metric on it. So for example, this right here, the popularity is, not full, but as you can see right here, you could totally tell that this is a female product because the popularity is, at the biggest for the female. And the same thing for this one. And it's really, really good at, for example, if you're just targeting, women's fashion, or just niches that are in women, or men niches, then you could kind of look at these metrics and go from there. And then you also see the popularity of them too, with the black indicator at the top. The other metric that they have for some of these products are the conversion scores. So basically this is an indicator on how likely it is for like a person on their platform to buy the product after seeing it. And although that's a good metric, I wouldn't really pay too much attention to it, because this is still such a small platform to where like you don't really care too much about the conversions, because this is not conversions on total for AliExpress. This is a conversion for just on their platform, so people buying on their platform. So my advice is not to pay too much attention to this, and mainly pay attention to like the popularity of the product. So as you can see, you can do this for a ton of products. They have a ton of products in their platform. But this feature is cool, but the best feature that I am absolutely in love with, and this is probably the reason why I like the best out of ways and methods on how to find dropshipping products, is because of this right here, the keywords. So this is game changer. So what it does is that it allows you to kind of scroll through like trending topics, and it uses metrics for the searches. So for example, of course, we just passed like Christmas time and holiday season, so that search is going to be high. So what you can do is exclude festive, and it's not going to show you a bunch of like the Christmas searches. So as you can see, these are legit searches. So iPhone 12 case, of course, that's popular because iPhone 12 recently came out. Sphere mold, that's weird. The 12 Pro Max, of course. And right here, this is a product, so cashmere leggings. So as you can see, in the last month, this is like exploded with searches. So, and this is a dropshipping product potentially. So let's see if you could click this So when you click this, it shows you, you know, the searches or whatever. And then the cool thing is that if it's a product, this is game changer, I'm telling you guys, because for example, let me show you guys what I just did. I just clicked this search and then went to this page, and then at the bottom, it's gonna show you products that are tagged with that search on Thieve. So as you can see, you can scroll down, you go to this product. Right here, it has over 500 orders and it's cashmere leggings. And then you could hit this, buy on AliExpress, and it'll take you to the AliExpress page. And as you can see, this is the product right here. And this is what people are searching for on this search, cashmere leggings. As you can see, another thing to keep in mind, the shipping time on this is super long. As I was saying, you know, for AliExpress standard shipping, the estimated delivery is March 2nd, which is over a month away. So just keep that in mind. So what I recommend that you do is, if you find a product or a search on here, for example, cashmere leggings, and it's really, really trending, it's popping, what you need to do is to go to AliExpress, search up that product, and then you need to do what I taught you earlier in the video and look for US suppliers that are shipping from the United States. So as you can see, this is one, this is one, this is one. You could just go through starting from the top if you want to. So for example, you definitely want to, you know, order this by the number of orders. Let me see this one. This one shipped from the United States. Okay, $10 via USPS, and the estimated delivery time is 4 to 13 days. So as you can see, this product right here is cashmere leggings, which is a trending product because it's getting a ton of searches recently. And this is a supplier that's offering shipping from the United States. But you know, you definitely don't want to just settle. You know, you want to weed through and go through different suppliers, because $10 shipping price is pretty high and that could eat away your profits. So, you know, don't settle with that supplier. Let's go check this one out. Shipping time. So this is expensive, $30. That's a no-go. This one's $10 as well. So, you know, obviously, you know, $10 seems to be the standard range for the shipping price for US shipping for this product. But like I said, you know, you definitely want to go through a bunch of these suppliers yourself and find the one that's the cheapest and still offering US shipping. And so that is just one search that we looked at. So of course, if you go back to the keywords feature, you can find a bunch of different products that people are searching for and are trending a lot. So for example, this charger MagSafe, this fidget toys, a planner, you know, the Xbox, paper bag wrapping, snowfan lid, multi-tool snowflake, whatever that is, MagSafe, plaid pajamas right here, purple cap. So you have a ton of different metrics for you to look at, you know, for potential product ideas and potential dropshipping products. And it's really, really cool because potentially you could get in on something before it becomes like saturated, or even anybody starts to dropship it, because you're seeing, you know, the searches first. So for example, like if we went to the cashmere leggings, like this is recent. Like when people started searching up this is within the last month. It's exploding in the search. So you could get in on this like ASAP, and then potentially, you know, start dropshipping these and selling these before everybody else, which gives you the ultimate advantage. So Thieve is a really, really good platform that I recommend for you to look at, you know, and find dropshipping products. And that's what I use. And like I showed you guys, they have a lot of killer features that are game changer. And they also have this niches feature, which is, you know, showing you guys a bunch of different niches and products under that. But the best feature, in my opinion, on this platform is the keyword feature, which I just showed you guys. So all in all, this is a really, really good method on finding dropshipping products. So after you find your dropshipping product, then it's time to create your store. And you're gonna be creating your store on Shopify.com. I'm sure you heard of it. Shopify is the largest e-commerce platform there is in the world. It's extremely easy, and it is the best e-commerce platform in the world by a landslide. So I definitely recommend that you guys create your store on Shopify. And Shopify, the cost on Shopify is $29 a month for their basic plan, and the basic plan is pretty much everything that you need. So I'm not going to show you guys a step-by-step tutorial on how to create your store on Shopify, because I've done that numerous amount of times, and I also have a hour-long complete step-by-step Shopify tutorial on how to create a store step-by-step. So I definitely recommend you guys watch that. I'll link it up here somewhere maybe, but I'll for sure link it in the description. It's one of my most viewed videos on YouTube, and it helped a lot of people. I think it's almost at 1 million views, and I definitely recommend that you guys watch that, because I go on a step-by-step how to create a store from absolute scratch, from nothing, and I also show you guys tips and stuff that I recommend that you guys do on the other side of the store, like the logos and stuff like that, the whole back end. So I definitely recommend that you guys watch that video so that you guys know and have a good understanding on how to create a Shopify store. And it's 100% free, so it doesn't cost you anything. It's all value, so I definitely recommend to watch it. So I'll put a link in the description below for you guys to get in on Shopify's 14-day free trial. So through that link, you'll have 14 days to kind of create your store before you're charged for the Shopify plan. So I definitely recommend that you guys click the link in the description below after you guys find out how to create your Shopify store by watching that free YouTube video that I created. So the next thing I want to talk about is Oberlo. So Oberlo is where you're going to be drop shipping your product. So it basically automates and makes a lot of things easier. So a quick review: AliExpress, this is where you're going to have your drop shipping products at. This is your supplier, your source of your products. Shopify is where you're going to create your store and host your store. So your store is going to be on here. And then Oberlo is going to connect both of those together and make your life 1 million times easier by automating a lot of the process. So for example, let me just tell you guys what Oberlo does. So traditionally, if you were drop shipping from Shopify to AliExpress, if you're drop shipping from AliExpress and you get a order on Shopify, so what you would have to do is you would have to enter all the customer's information manually from Shopify to AliExpress, and then order the product. So that is extremely time consuming. And if you think about it, if you get a ton of orders, that is going to take hours for you to do if you're doing it manually one by one. So for example, if like 10 customers, order a product on your Shopify store, and then you have to enter all those 10 customers' information manually on AliExpress, that's going to take a lot of time, and that's not sustainable on the long run if you want to scale up. So what Oberlo does, it connects that and it automates a lot of it to where like you literally just click one time and it fulfills all that information for you, and then you move on to the next order as well. So it makes your life 1 million times easier and does all that so that you don't have to enter your information manually each time and each order that you get from a customer. So this is one of the probably the most popular connectors for that by far, and I definitely recommend it. A lot of people recommend it, and I'll also include a link in the description below for you guys to use that. So again, AliExpress, this is where you're going to be sourcing your products, and Shopify is where you're going to be creating your website and having your website at. It's everything with your store and your website and your shop is going to be on Shopify.com, and then Oberlo is where you're going to connect AliExpress to Shopify to kind of automate a lot of the drop shipping process that takes a lot of time. So I'll put links in the description for the 14-day free trial on Shopify, and also a 100% free link for you guys to use Oberlo for free on the description. All you gotta do is click the link and sign up on Oberlo, and you'll be able to use it for free. So I'll put all of those in the description below for you guys to use. So now let's get into the marketing aspect of your dropshipping business. And marketing is arguably the most important thing in dropshipping. Everything else is meaningless if you can't get sales and you can't acquire customers via marketing. If your advertising is not good, then everything else is meaningless. So marketing is super, super important. And especially right now in 2021, I want to talk about this and talk about it thoroughly so you guys have a broad understanding on what the deal is right now. Is we're currently facing some potential changes and updates that will potentially hurt and change dropshipping in the long run, and it is with Facebook ads. So for advertising and marketing in general for dropshipping, there's a lot of different advertising platforms. There's Google, there's YouTube, and of course all the social media, so Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. But the most popular by far is Facebook and Instagram, which Facebook owns Instagram, so mainly Facebook. So most of people's advertising budget, marketing budget goes to Facebook ads. And what we're facing right now is a potential problem that is going to hurt dropshipping in the long run, especially if you use Facebook ads and put a lot of your marketing budget in Facebook ads, because it could really affect you negatively. So what I'm talking about specifically, as I want to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about, Apple is releasing a update that will potentially, change the way Facebook retrieves data. So, specifically, I'm on the website. I don't want to say anything wrong. This is the URL and the link for you guys to read it yourself. But basically, Apple is potentially releasing an update that will impact how Facebook, receives and processes data, which in result affects, conversions, tracking, and all that stuff that potentially makes you money with advertising on Facebook. So this is becoming a huge issue. A lot of people are scared because this is a big thing. Apple is, a powerful company. A lot of people have iPhones and use iOS, so a lot of people will be affected by this, which in result will affect Facebook. And these changes that Apple are potentially implementing will really hurt the way Facebook creates Facebook ads and how they operate, because a lot of the data will not be there no more. Even the Facebook pixel data would be limited, so things could get really ugly really fast. And another thing that is really important that I want to go over with this update is that basically on this new iOS 14 update, what Apple is potentially going to do is, for everybody that has iOS 14, they're basically going to be automatically opted out on giving their data to companies like Facebook and other advertising companies. So they will have to themselves opt in to giving that data to Facebook. So if that goes, a lot of people are going to be opt out of giving their data to Facebook. Of course, it's a huge thing. A lot of people are not really comfortable giving their data like that, and a lot of people really respect privacy, as they should. I'm also for that. But whenever you get to a point to where people have to opt in to give out their privacy and data, then it's usually never going to happen. Probably a larger percentage of people are not going to be giving their data out to Facebook to opt in on that. So as I was saying, this is a huge problem that will potentially hurt a lot of businesses. And I'm not just talking about dropshipping or e-commerce businesses. I'm talking about pretty much every single business that use Facebook ads. They will be negatively affected by this, and this is huge. That's why Facebook has been responding to it, and I don't really like their response to it. And I want to start off by saying I have a love/hate relationship with Facebook. I love how I made a lot of money with Facebook and how you can make a lot of money with Facebook. Anybody that could start, that has a computer, could start a dropshipping company, could start pretty much a bunch of businesses and reach millions of people using Facebook's platform. And their platform is designed to make you money, and I love that. But I hate how Facebook operates when it comes to their customer support and their customer service. Numerous occasions my ads were disabled for no freaking reason, and I just hate how they're making billions of dollars, most of it being profit since it's just their advertising platform, and they can't have a solid support system for their customer that are spending millions of dollars on ads to them. That is what I hate about it. And very recently, even before this whole rumor happened, within the last year or two, they've been doing a lot of dumb stuff with disabling ads and for no reason, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And they're making all this money, billions of dollars, and then they come out, I'm gonna show you guys, with their response to this Apple new update, and they're basically playing the victim and just whining about to Apple. And this is what I really don't like. So this right here, look at this. So they said that Apple is basically creating a policy that's about profit, not privacy. But that's what Facebook is about. They're probably worse than Apple on this. Facebook is all about profit. They take all this data for profit and not about privacy. So that is what I really don't like about them, how they take that approach to kind of make themselves kind of look like they're the victim, when in reality they're not doing too well themselves as well, and they have something to blame themselves. They're not just super innocent on this occasion. So that is what I really don't like about that. But all in all, this is a huge deal. Me personally, I don't really see this happening because, like I said, it affects a bunch of different businesses and small businesses and pretty much every business. because Facebook is pretty much the biggest, if not one of the biggest advertising platforms there is in the world, and this will affect the whole pretty much business ecosystem, especially online advertising. So all in all, I wanted to show you guys this because this is extremely important, and this could really affect a lot of things in dropshipping and pretty much every business. So you definitely need to have this in your mind so that you have some kind of awareness on the subject, because if it goes through, this is huge and it affects everything negatively with Facebook advertising and pretty much all online advertising. And I also want to talk about this is because I've been preaching about influencer marketing for years now, and this kind of makes influencer marketing kind of trend up a lot, because influencer marketing, all these influencers, they're not playing by this rule. You have their audience, which is already targeted and optimized, so you don't really need any data or special data from taking people's privacy and stuff like that. The influencers already have that. All you need to do is pay them to advertise or use some kind of creative form of marketing to have them advertise your product or your business, and then boom, now you have access to thousands, if not millions of targeted, optimized followers to advertise for your business. And I have a ton of videos on my channel where I show step by step how I do influencer marketing and numerous different strategies, from paying the influencers and creative ways to where you could literally advertise with influencer marketing for 100% free. And I also have that tutorial which I talked about earlier in this video where I showed you guys step by step how to create a Shopify store. In that tutorial video, I also go over how you guys can advertise using influencer marketing as well. So influencer marketing made me a lot of money and was responsible for most of my dropshipping success. That's why I always preach about it and will continue to preach about it as time goes on. So it was a bit of relief to see that influencer marketing won't be that much affected by it as much as Facebook or any of the advertising platforms. But with that being said, influencer marketing is still affected by this in some way. And what I mean by that is that even if you do influencer marketing with this update, the iOS 14 update, the Facebook pixel will be limited to how it retrieves data. Therefore, the retargeting aspect of your marketing will be affected by this negatively. And that is my bread and butter. As you guys know, I do influencer marketing. I get collabs from influencers. I get their audience, I get some sales, and I also get all that data and then retarget it on Facebook ads to reach even more customers. And what that is super powerful. So if that happens, that retargeting aspect of your business is going to be negatively affected because the Facebook pixel data is going to be limited to how it retrieves data. So that is something that I do want you guys to have in mind, especially since if you guys are doing influencer marketing, because you're still going to be affected by it in some way. But it's refreshing to see that it won't be affected by it as much as Facebook, because the whole Facebook advertising platform relies heavily upon their data retrieval and optimizing data and going into people's privacy for it to make ads profitable. That's all their platform is built upon. But with influencer marketing, when you're finding an influencer, you're having all that audience targeted and optimized already. So you just got to pay the influencer or find some kind of creative way to get them to advertise. And then boom, you have access to thousands, if not millions of people that are optimized and targeted. So that part is huge, and it's cool that it's not affected like Facebook is with this update. But like I said, the retargeting aspect of the business is still going to be affected negatively. So after you take your dropshipping business off the ground, you start to succeed, you scale up. The goal is to always move on from dropshipping, then to order the products in bulk in the US, fulfill the orders in the US so that it's a much pleasant and smoother experience for your customers, and that you focus on a long-term brand that is sustainable for years and years to come. Dropshipping is an amazing business model for starting off and getting some success. But if you want to focus on a long-term brand and long-term sustainability, I'm talking about 5 years and beyond, you need to move on from dropshipping and focus on a long-term brand, order products in bulk and fulfill them in the US. And those of you might be watching this might be thinking that, why can't I just continue to do dropshipping? If you're focused on a long-term brand and, a sustainable business model, that is not the approach that you need to take, because it probably won't work out in the long run. And the reason why is because when you're dropshipping, you're leveraging other suppliers. So therefore, you're reliant upon those suppliers. You're reliant upon them to deliver orders on time, to ship orders on time. You're reliant upon them to always have the product in stock for quality control. Some of that stuff could go wrong, and it will be out of your control. And you just have to deal with it because you're dropshipping and you're relying upon those suppliers. On the other end, if you're doing a long-term business, you move on from that, then you're sustainable yourself. You're ordering the products in bulk, you're doing inventory control yourself, you have all that, your shipping orders on time because you're controlling that here in the US. All of that is under your control. Then you have a long-term business model and a long-term brand that could be successful for years and years to come. And some of you guys watching this might be thinking, why shouldn't I just skip dropshipping and move on to a long-term brand and order the products in bulk myself? Because that is a very risky approach, and I do not recommend that approach when you first get started, because you're risking a lot of your money and capital to do that. When you're dropshipping, you're risking very, very little. You don't have to order the products in bulk because you're leveraging other suppliers. And ordering products in bulk here in the US, that is a lot of money. You're gonna spend a lot of money if you take that approach, a lot of money that you'll be risking and potentially, could lose because you're starting off. And when you're drop shipping, it's cool because you're not risking anything. You can see the demand for the product. So for example, if you do drop shipping and you get a product and you find out that it's not really working out, it's not really that much demand for it, you just close the store. You don't have to be left with a bunch of inventory as opposed to if you order the products in bulk. Therefore, a lot of the risk is gone in that approach. So that is what you start off with. And then also on the flip side, you do drop shipping, you risk very little, you get a product and you start a drop shipping business and it's going really well, you're getting a ton of sales. Then it's time to take that money, invest it, and start the long-term brand approach, order the products in bulk here in the US and fulfill the orders here in the US. That way you didn't risk anything to get started, then you had a successful business and then you translate it and moved on to a long-term brand. But if you just skip the drop shipping part, you're risking a lot of your capital if you order the products in bulk, and that is not what I recommend if you guys want to lose a lot of money. So definitely I recommend that you guys start with a drop shipping approach, and as you guys succeed, that you move on to a long-term brand approach, which is ordering products in bulk here in the US. So that is how you can win and succeed in this drop shipping game in 2021. And if you're new to the channel, before I close out each video, I always end it with an inspirational quote. And today's quote is by Robert Kiyosaki, the man himself, the one who wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is the first book I ever read and the book that changed my life completely. He said that losers quit when they fail, but winners fail until they succeed. And until then, my friends, be great.